and Gulfstream. This is Next Weather.
All right, quite the heat wave going on across our area. Today's temperatures pretty much off the charts as we saw readings getting up into the middle 90s in a lot of spots. 95, 95, 94, 96 at Mobile Regional and Pascagoula at 96 with a heat index up around 110 earlier. As we saw, the average temperature would normally be around 91. We were 5 degrees above normal at Mobile Regional. So tomorrow may be worse. We've got a heat advisory in effect, and it's a little wider in its size and scope from Santa Rosa County to Jackson County, including Mobile and Baldwin along the coast, and also Clark County getting added into the heat advisory. Heat index values tomorrow between 105 and 110 will be a situation where you got to stay hydrated, take some breaks. Be aware if you start to feel cramps and you start to see the signs of heat exhaustion, you want to get inside, get cool, and stop what you're doing. Being hydrated is really the key there, though, and having that light-fitting, loose clothing and light-colored clothing, really a good thing to do, too. All right, upper-level pattern, big upper-level heat ridge. It amplifies on Wednesday. You can see the red starting to nudge over into northern Louisiana. We're here. We're getting a piece of that, and so tomorrow will likely be the peak of this thing. It will start to break down gradually, may hold on through Thursday, and then see how the colors start to change. By Saturday, we've got an upper trough swinging in to the eastern United States, and so that will end the heat. It will also send a surface front down our way, and we'll have an opportunity to get some showers and thunderstorms back into the picture by the weekend. Tropical storm Don winds at 40, gusts to 50, moving south at 7. So where is Don going? Well, pretty much over open waters, and it may get a little stronger as it ramps back up to the north. After that, it runs into some colder water off of Newfoundland and Canada as we get into the weekend. So Don, not a threat to us or the United States. Over the next 24 hours, our temperatures into the upper 70s for overnight lows. And then there's the uncomfortable stuff from 11 a.m. through about 5 p.m. We've got a good chance of some intense heat. Here's your 4-day forecast. Temperatures in the mid-90s, overnight lows in the 70s. By the weekend on Saturday, a 60% rain chance. Look at the contrast between Friday and Saturday. Starting to get rain rolling in. Coming up, we'll take a look at your 7-day forecast and also your boating forecast for rodeo weekend. Meteorologist Michael White has an update on the national heat wave, and Matt Valentine breaks down the hot water temperatures in the Atlantic Basin as well.
Can I play? Sure, but you need to bring your own truck. That's not a problem.
The FOX10 Storm Tracker fleet, taking you live to more places, covering the Gulf Coast like no one else can. Unrivaled experience, unparalleled severe weather coverage.
I think I need a bigger sandbox.
Well, these temperatures are really hot, and not just here on the Gulf Coast, but for most of the nation. And meteorologist Michael White has a look at where the heat is headed.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Yeah, we've got this massive heat dome that's come back. You know, we had this earlier in the summer, and now we've got another round of it. But since we're now past mid-July, we're officially in the dog days of summer. So when we get these heat domes building in, it can just be brutal. And our heat index could be between 105 and 110 for tomorrow and Thursday. Let's go to the maps. This is a look at the modeling at 18,000 feet off the ground. I know Jason has talked about this already, but look at what you're seeing down in the bottom left corner of your screen. What you look for at 18,000 feet off the ground are these upper highs. And where you see that circle right around parts of Arizona and New Mexico, that's your upper high. And normally if it hits 594 or 597, that's extremely hot. Rarely do you ever see the number 600. But that is what we see on that chart, which lets you know that that is where the hottest temperatures tomorrow are going to be sitting. Now, we are still going to be covered by that heat dome, so our temperatures are still going to be hot. We're going to be in the mid to upper 90s with a heat index between 105 and 110, but it's going to be worse down in parts of Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. We take a peek at how things are going to look as we move forward into Thursday, and you can still see that big heat dome across parts of the southwestern United States, which is wide enough to encompass parts of the Gulf Coast. But notice in the Midwest, around Wisconsin and around parts of Michigan, where you start to see a trough carving out, that is going to start to move in as the heat ridge breaks down. So we go forward into Friday. This is the end of the week, and you can start to see the heat dome sliding back to the west. That 597 ring moves off back toward Arizona and California, and the deep trough starts to slide its way down the eastern half of the nation until finally Saturday, the trough wins out and some cooler air for late July moves in, and the heat ridge pushes off to the west. On Saturday, the hottest temperatures will be where you see that 597 ring. That'll be Nevada, that'll be Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and some cooler air slides in. And you'll notice on the temperature chart, this is a look at what's known as the blend of models, the projection of temperatures based on a blend of all the global models. You can see the high temperatures will be sliding down to under 90, possibly by Sunday and Monday of next week. And the morning temperatures, we get less humid. The mornings go down to the mid to low 70s. Granted, that's not going to feel like a fall day, but hey, it's actually going to feel pretty good for late July as we move into the weekend, and especially as we kick off next week. So that's not bad at all. Now, we will see higher rain chances over the weekend, as Jason's already talked about. I know he'll summarize it at the end of this edition of Next Weather, but it does look like we're going to see the temperatures sliding based on that heat dome moving out. But in the short term, it is going to be pretty rough out there, so you know the routine. You got to stay hydrated. You got to stay in the AC whenever possible. Have outdoor activities, move them indoors as a temporary backup plan. Also, remember that heat exhaustion and heat stroke can happen quickly and unexpectedly for you in this type of air mass, and you may not even know that it's happening until it's too late. So you've got to always remember to keep cool when you can, stay hydrated all day, and check on the elderly. Make sure that they are in a nice, cool place as well. I'm meteorologist Michael White. I'll be back tomorrow morning for another edition of Good Day Gulf Coast, and I hope I see you then right here on Fox 10, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. And for Next Weather, I'll go ahead and send it back to you in the studio, Jason.
Well, you know, Michael, it's not just the temperatures that are breaking records across the country, but also water temperatures across the Gulf and the tropical Atlantic are really hot. Meteorologist Matt Barentine has that story.
Well, it's been awfully hot on land, but it's also been hot in the water. These are sea surface temperatures, the departure from normal, to let you know how far from normal these temperatures are. And they're pretty far. This goes in Celsius, but if you basically double the Celsius numbers, that gives you the Fahrenheit numbers, anywhere from 2 to 4 degrees above average in most places here in the Gulf, the Caribbean, the Keys. The only spot where it's actually a little bit cool is up right along our immediate beaches, where we've had a lot of rain, and that's created some cooler water down where the rivers are flowing in. But across the rest of the Gulf, the Caribbean, the far Atlantic, temperatures are way above normal. Now, what are those temperatures looking like? Well, generally in the upper 80s. Look across the Gulf. Very warm water, super fuel out there for hurricanes. And look down in the Keys. We're looking at temperatures here in the water of 90+ degrees. Imagine that. And get this, just the other day, the researchers went out into the Keys and they found this is a water temperature of 98.1. Now, they found this in the dark mangrove waters right at a depth of about 5 feet or so. Incredible stuff right there. That's going to cause some major issues for the corals down here in the Keys. Now, ironically, about the only thing that would cool that off is a hurricane going through and churning up all the water. So want to be keeping an eye on this next few weeks, see how hot this water stays, and see how it affects the rest of our hurricane season.
Not a good sign to have all that warm water out there in the Atlantic, Matt. And coming up, we'll talk about the forecast for rodeo weekend, look at your 7-day and 10-day outlook for the entire Gulf Coast as well.
New to the Fox 10 weather app, your 24-hour radar forecast. Be the first to see how precipitation is going to affect your plants across the Gulf Coast. Detailed hour by hour, the 24-hour radar forecast on the Fox 10 weather app. Plus the latest breaking news with the Fox 10 News app.
Got him both.
Stay alert with Fox 10. Prime time is Fox 10 time.
The latest on the night's top stories are first on Fox 10 News at 9.
Wrap up your day, informed and ready for the morning.
All right, rodeo weekend coming up. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday tournament, the largest saltwater fishing tournament in the world. And looking at the forecast, Friday looks like a perfect day. Seas about 1 foot, temperature about 90 degrees, not a lot of rain around, but things go downhill pretty fast on Saturday and especially Sunday. It looks like Saturday may be okay initially, then afternoon and evening showers and storms, rain and storms Saturday night and Sunday, and seas picking up too, about 2 feet on Saturday. Could be 2 to 3 feet on Sunday for the rodeo off of Dauphin Island. Here's our forecast for the entire area. The heat continues through Friday, and then after that it's over because that upper trough is digging in. And look at the numbers going down. 93 Saturday, then 90 Sunday and Monday. So daytime highs lowering. Rain chance at 60% Saturday and 70% on Sunday. And it looks like once we bust up this heat ridge, we're going to be good for a while. We'll see more reasonable daytime highs and overnight lows a little closer to normal, maybe even a little below average, and occasional rounds of showers and thunderstorms showing up next week in your 10-day forecast.